A nemesis vanquished. CJ Papa, Fox News. He is the man who President Trump targeted for removal from the lower chamber. And voters in Kentucky delivered the commander-in-chief, leading to the big win for Ed Gallrein. The former Navy SEAL spoke to Fox's Hannity.
It was a David versus Goliath. I was the underdog. I want to thank the president. I want to thank the conservative Republicans from this district and my supporters and team.
Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie is one of the latest Trump critics to fall. Massie has been a thorn in the president's side. He has repeatedly criticized and voted against parts of Trump's agenda, especially on the Middle East. Despite his loss last night, Massie indicates he has no regrets occasionally breaking with the president.
If you always vote with the president, if the legislative branch always votes with the president, we do have a king.
Also in Kentucky, Congressman Andy Barr won the GOP Senate primary. He was backed by President Trump and is seen as the heavy favorite to replace outgoing Senator Mitch McConnell.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera reporting. Voters in both parties at the polls in the Peach State, but the Republican race for the top position in the state will head to overtime. Fox's Ted Linder breaks down the results.
A crowded field of high-profile candidates is vying to succeed term-limited Governor Brian Kemp, with Burt Jones and Rick Jackson advancing to a runoff in the Republican primary, a race for which more than $125 million has already been spent. The runoff happens June 16th. Meanwhile, two-term Representative Mike Collins advanced to the Republican runoff in the state's U.S. Senate race. Georgia Republicans are seeking a challenger to Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff. Among Collins' rivals, Representative Buddy Carter has highlighted his conservative record in Congress, while former college football coach Derek Dooley has presented himself as a political outsider. Ted Linder, Fox News.
The pause continues in the war with Iran. Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps released a new threat against the United States and Israel, warning that if they launch a renewed bombing campaign, there will be serious consequences for the entire region. The IRGC put out a statement saying if the aggression against Iran is repeated, the regional war that was promised will this time go beyond the borders of the region, and you will be dealt crushing blows in places you do not expect. This threat comes as President Trump says he was just an hour away from deciding to strike Iran earlier this week and is giving the regime a few additional days to reach a deal.
Lawmakers in the South Carolina House give the green light to change the congressional maps for voters, but will it stick? Fox's Chris Foster.
The vote 74-37 to approve the new map meant to give Republicans an advantage in all 7 of South Carolina's congressional districts, once currently represented by a Democrat, Jim Clyburn, since 1993. 4 Republicans voted against the bill, which now goes to the state Senate. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster had to call a special session to revive the plan after a Senate vote came up short last week. Some Republicans are concerned the new map could backfire by moving too many liberal voters into safe districts, and also about losing Clyburn's power in the House to direct federal resources to the state. Chris Foster, Fox News.
A horrific accident in Midtown Manhattan. A 56-year-old grandmother from suburban Westchester County is swallowed up by an uncovered manhole.
The victim, identified as Donika Gokaj, she plummeted 10 to 15 feet down a manhole after getting out of her parked vehicle. People who saw what happened tried to help the woman, but they just couldn't get to her. One witness telling the New York Post she was just in the hole screaming that she was dying over and over. She was like, I'm dying, I'm dying. By the time first responders removed her, she was unconscious and unresponsive. They rushed her to the hospital where she was pronounced dead.
That is Fox's Todd Pyro reporting. I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox News.